What's up, everybody? I'm Joji Davenport. I'm a teacher and also a small part-time Amazon FBA bookseller. And the purpose of this channel is for me to help you take books and turn it into cash. So with that said, let's get started. This video is all about the strategy of pricing your books on Amazon FBA to take into account two things, which is sales velocity and also the max value or the max potential value of a book. I'm also going to talk about a repricer that I use called Be Cool. And by the way, this video is inspired by a subscriber who left a comment on a video. Do you use an automated repricer? I love a video of all the software you use and how you set them. So if you have any questions when it comes to selling books on Amazon FBA, or if there's anything that's really confusing to you that you just don't understand, that you really want to know, leave a comment down below because I probably will just make a video about it. All right, there's two things that you need to take into account when it comes to pricing books on Amazon. The first thing is the sales velocity of the book, which simply just means how fast the book sells or how long it takes the book to sell. And the second thing you need to take into account is the max book value or its highest potential sales price according to historical data using Keepa. And the way I see it is that there are really three options when it comes to pricing your books on Amazon. So the first option is where you actually take a longer time to sell the book. You wait for a textbook season and you try to sell it for a max value or the most amount you could sell that book for. But in exchange for trying to sell the book for the most that it can actually sell for, you're actually going to sacrifice the sales velocity or how fast the book sells. So what that really just means is you wait to try to sell the book for a higher price, but the opportunity cost is that it takes you a lot longer to sell the book. Now, the second option would just be the reverse of that, which is to try to make sure that the book sells very, very quickly, but you sacrifice then what price you're actually able to sell the book for. You're willing to sacrifice on price a little bit. You're willing to be more competitive in the market. So that means that the third option, which is what I tend to use in my pricing strategy, is a combination of both, the sweet spot, which is where you take into account both the sales velocity. So you do want to sell the book quickly, but also you do want to extract as much value out of the book as you can, but you also don't want to be waiting a very long time. So when it comes to then utilizing or applying that strategy to Be Cool, which is the repricer that I use, I just follow this pricing strategy, which is 1, set a profitable min price, 2, set a reasonable max price, and then 3, reevaluate in 3 months and go from there. So I'm going to head on over to Be Cool. So I'm here in Be Cool right now. You can see that I have a number of different books. These are the titles of the books. I have the ASIN right underneath them. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and set a min and a max price. I'm going to go through my pricing strategy to show you basically the way that I price books on Amazon to make sure that I'm always profitable. So let's get right into it. All right. So you can see that I have this strategic communications for PR. All I'm going to do is copy that and I'm going to go ahead and paste that into my spreadsheet to find the book. So you can see that that book has been found here. I purchased this on July 2nd from Biblio, and I bought it for $47.77. So what I'm going to do is go back to Be Cool. I'm going to write in the cost, $47.77. And what I'm now going to identify or determine is I'm going to set a profitable minimum price. That means I'm going to set a price where I'm okay with this book selling. So I would prefer it sells higher, but I'm willing to sell it at this price so that I make a decent profit. So I'm going to go and open up the Amazon listing. And now we're going to use Keepa to look at historical data to determine, okay, what is the value of this book over time? And that's going to allow me to set a min price that can be profitable. So we take a look at the Keepa chart here. The black line represents the lowest use price on Amazon throughout time. I'm looking at the past year's worth of data. And if we look at that black use line, this book has been selling between, on the low end, around $90 all the way up to maybe $100 and I'm going to say probably around this $130 mark. The new third party, this blue line, is probably the upper bound of what someone is willing to pay for this. So I'm going to say the low end is probably around that $90 and it goes up to probably about $130. So for me to be profitable, right, I can just use this calculator that's part of Be Cool here, but I think the lowest that I'd be willing to sell this book at is probably around $120 or so. So I'm going to come back here. And for the min price, I'm going to put $120. And for the max price, now I'd probably say not much higher than the new price, $194. Actually, you'd probably want to be below that. I would say maybe like $185. So I'm going to come back here and put $185. And if I just click on the calculator here, you would see that if I do sell this book for $120, I'm going to make a profit of $47, right? That's the min profitable price. And if I were able to sell at the max, which could happen, but is not as likely to happen, I would profit about $102. So when I come back to that balancing act, remember this minimum price is kind of like the sales velocity part. I'm willing to go that low just to get it out of there, just to sell it. and I'm willing to kind of wait to this $185 amount to get a sale. But I'm a balancing act, because I didn't just set my price at 120 to sell it fast, nor did I set the price at 185 to try to wait and get more money out of it. Instead, I'm just telling the repricer to basically get the buy box if the price is between that price. And it doesn't really matter what price the book is on Amazon, as long as it's somewhere in that price. So for example, if we look back at the listing, right now the used price is at $94. So my repricer actually wouldn't do anything until the price actually changes, so that this is between 120 and 185. So for example, let's say the price of this book gets to, the used buy box gets to 121, then my repricers automatically get to take my book and shoot it down to 121 to meet the buy box. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just press save. That's gonna overwrite that value here. And if you're wondering why all these prices are $200 right now, is because my prep center just got these books in. And whenever my prep center sends the books to Amazon, I always have them put a $200 price mark, just so I know that this is a book I need to reprice. Okay, let's look at the next book, Human Resource Management. I'm gonna copy it, go back to my spreadsheet and paste it. And of course, this strategy only works if you actually know what you're paying for the books that you're buying. If you have no idea what you paid for the book, then it's going to be a lot harder to identify the minimum price you could have to be profitable. And when I say minimum price to be profitable, I don't mean the minimum price to make 1 penny. I just mean, what is the lowest amount I'm willing to sell the book for? And obviously, it should also be profitable. Okay, so Human Resource Management, I purchased this on Facebook from Megan. I bought it for $28.17. So I'm going to come back over here, type in $28.17. I'm going to go and open up the Amazon listing. Let's take a look at Keepa to see what the historical data says about what its value is over time. So again, the black line represents the lowest used price throughout the book's history. And we see the sales rank dropping here, meaning it sold for at least $89.99. Over here in the past January, a number of times for around $99. So I would say that because Amazon is not on the listing at $95, probably like $90 is the cheapest I want to sell this book for, but I could probably sell it for a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is set $99.99 as my lowest price. That's the lowest I'm going to take for this. And remember that this black line just represents the lowest used price over time. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what the book sold for, right? This book sell right here, while it looks like it could have just been an Amazon FBA seller that had the price of the book at $19.99 and it could have sold for that. So we don't actually know what the book sold for. All we know is that it's at least $19.99. Now, what's the upper bound of this book? Well, historically, this book hasn't sold for above that $99. So I'm going to just bet that that's what it has been selling for. But again, for Amazon FBA sellers, you know, most people a lot of times don't really for it. So I'm going to go up to $1.99 because I feel like that's a pretty reasonable price. I feel like someone could easily pay $1 to buy it on their market. Let's go and look at the next book here. So I'm going to copy that. This is my spreadsheet here. I purchased this on eBay, $6.28. Come over here, $29.45. Let's go ahead and add the buy box right now is $97. Sold about 4 or 5 times for at least $92. If we go a little bit further back in history, we can see it sold at $29.99. Probably sold for $5.05. Sold over 45. Now I do need to be profitable, right? So obviously I can't put $43 in my mint price because then I'd be losing money. But again, I've seen some history of this book selling above 90. Now it doesn't sell, right? It sells like a little drop. It's maybe only selling like once a month. So what I'm gonna do is set my mint price. And the max price, again, it's likely that this book will sell for a little bit more than 90. Something on 110. Might be a little bit less aggressive. Again, the sales rank is a little bit higher because it doesn't sell as often. But again, if we check the calculator, we can see that this does sell at $90, making a profit. And obviously, if it sold at 110, it'd be making more profit. But the idea is that I don't really care where the book sells for, as long as it's somewhere in between those two values. I'll be happy because I'll make profit. So I'll go ahead and save that there. Now, remember the third step was to reevaluate in 3 months. So I do this once now, and if the book doesn't sell within 3 months, then I come back to it and I reevaluate and I'll change the min and max price. I'll just go through the same process again. Now, if the book hasn't sold during the first 3 months, for the next 3 months, I should probably be a little bit more aggressive in the lowest min price. So Yeah, that's basically the way that it works. Okay, so let's go to the next book. This is called Sanders Veterinary Anatomy. So I'm going to copy that. You can see that I bought this on June 24th on eBay for $30.08. So I'm going to go and put in $30.08 there. Let's go and open up the Amazon listing. Take a look at the historical data to see what this book sells for. So again, that black used line represents the lowest used price at that point in time on Amazon. So it sold for about at least 87, sold a few times down here around 30, sold for 90 there. Pretty crazy sell, 297 there, 199. So I would say, right, I'm definitely going to make profit if I sell for 90. So again, this is a book that doesn't, or this is actually, these are flashcards that don't sell a lot, but they do sell. I'm willing to kind of sacrifice the price a little bit. So I would say I'm willing to accept $85 for this. But again, there is actual historical data of this selling for $300. So while I think that's going to be an unreasonable max price, I might say I'm willing to go from 85 to 129.99, and I'll go ahead and save that data there. So again, if we then go and take a look at the profit calculator, we can see that if this book were to sell for $85, I would make a profit of $33. And if this were to sell for $129.99, I'd make $71. But again, I don't really care where this book sells. The repricer is going to do its thing in between those two values. Wherever this book sells between those two values, I'm happy with. And really, that's just the goal, is to set a min price that I'm comfortable with, that's profitable, set a maximum price that's reasonable given historical data, let the Be Cool repricer or whatever other repricer you do just do its work, do its magic. And if you don't get any sell after 3 months, then just go back into your repricing software, look for things that have been listed 3 months prior to that current date, and then just make adjustments. Go ahead and set a new min price, set a new max reasonable price, and then reevaluate in 3 months. All right, everybody, that's all I have for you today. If you found this video helpful or interesting, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. And if you have any other concerns or questions and I can help you out, leave a comment so that I can make a video and help you out. But that's all I have for you today. So have a good one and goodbye.